can upload.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtapraeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatir uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajata Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrashabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vamcha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji's Mataji's welcome you all to today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. So today is a very, very special day. Today is Ekadashi, which is as such special. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls it Madhava Tithi Bhakati Janani. That means these are the special days on which we can get manifold benefits of practicing our devotional practices, sadhana bhakti. And especially today happens to be the Kartiki Ekadashi, which is also called Uthayani, or which is the specific day on which the Lord Vitthal at Pandharpur. In Ashad, we have Ashadi Ekadashi, which is called Shayani Ekadashi. So it is the day on which the Lord is said to go to rest. And today is the Ekadashi when the Lord is said to wake up. And all the devotees very eagerly seek darshan of the Lord on these special days. All the temples of Lord Vishnu across India, you would find hugely crowded on this very, very special day. So in India, yesterday was also Ekadashi, today is also Ekadashi, but specifically today is Bhagavat Ekadashi, which the devotees follow as per the Vaishnav calendar. So we are meeting after quite a while because of Yatra in between, and right now also quite a few of the devotees, they are on Kartik Yatra to Ayodhya Dham. So we hope that they have a very ecstatic and safe Yatra. So as part of discussion earlier on this particular chapter, where we started the new chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, chapter 4, which is entitled The Process of Creation. We saw in the first four verses the disposition of Maharaj Parikshit in hearing Krishna Katha from Shukadev Goswami, his eagerness to hear about Krishna in very detail, and we will find some of the supporting verses supporting this particular point. We see Maharaj Parikshit being described as Maharaj Parikshit as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. So Suta Goswami, we see, is glorifying Maharaj Parikshit, that despite having the sovereignty of the entire world at his feet as a sovereign king of the earth planet, as well as a obedient, beautiful wife and the obedient children and all loving subjects and treasury house flourishing, despite all this, Parikshit Maharaj was able to renounce all this in order to focus his attention on hearing about Lord Krishna from Shukadev Goswami. And further, Suta Goswami mentions, O great sages, the great soul Maharaj Parikshit, constantly wrapped in thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well of his imminent death, renounced all sorts of fruitive activities, namely religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and thus fixed himself firmly in his natural love for Krishna and asked all these questions exactly as you are asking me. So we see at the end of the last chapter, uh, the sages led by Shaunakadi Rishi, they requesting Suta Goswami to please describe all those topics which were either directly related to Krishna Katha or the discussion of which would result in Krishna Katha. The Shaunakadi Rishis wanted to hear all that from Suta Goswami. So similarly, Suta Goswami is glorifying Maharaj Parikshit by saying that, my dear Shaunakadi Rishis, Maharaj Parikshit, because of his exalted devotional qualities, was as eager to hear about Lord Krishna as you are. And that's why he asked all these similar questions like you are asking to describe about Lord Krishna. So in these four verses, we see the disposition of Maharaj Parikshit in being very, very focused on hearing Krishna Katha in detail from Shukadev Goswami. And then the conversion shifts to Maharaj, that between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami. And Maharaj Parikshit specifically is requesting Shukadev Goswami, I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead by his personal energies creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. So specifically, we discussed in great length how all these great devotees, including Maharaj Parikshit in this particular case, or in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how Vidura, who is a born pure devotee of the Lord, he is a Mahajan, Yamaraj himself appearing as Vidura. He is also requesting Maitreya Maharshi not to directly jump to the esoteric pastimes of Lord Krishna, uh, that of rasa dance, etc. But first, describing the position of Lord Krishna with respect to his Sat potency, with respect to his Maya Shakti, the creative potency, the pastime of Lord creating both primarily and secondarily this material creation. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead by his personal energies creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. And we saw various supporting evidences where even the great personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they also admit that what they know of Lord Krishna is very, very small portion of his potencies, qualities, and activities. So a pure devotee, he can know the Lord to a considerable extent by the mercy of the Lord. And as long as Lord does not reveal himself to anyone, nobody can understand the Lord without Krishna's own mercy upon him. Kindly describe, so this verse we will start today. So let's start with a quotation by Srila Prabhupada, and we would request devotees who would like to read, please keep your hands raised. Then we'll request devotees one by one. Tarini Krishna Kanta Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Panchanga Pranams.
Dandas Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada Vacha, words from our founder Acharya. Therefore, the neophyte devotee, instead of jumping at once to the platform of transcendental pastimes presented by the internal energy of the Lord, may know how great the Supreme Lord is by inquiring about the process of his creative energy. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, descriptions of the creative energy and the Lord's hand in it are explained. And the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita has warned the neophyte devotees to be seriously on guard against the pitfall of neglecting knowledge about Krishna in regard to how great he is. Only when one knows Lord Krishna's greatness can one firmly put one's unflinching faith in him. Otherwise, like the common man, even the great leaders of men will mistake Lord Krishna for one of the many demigods, or a historical personality, or a myth only. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavana or even at Dwaraka are relishable for persons who have already qualified themselves in advanced spiritual techniques, and the common men may be able to attain to such a plane by the gradual process of service and inquiries, as we shall see in the behavior of Parishit Maharaja. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.6 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that a neophyte devotee should be on guard not to aspire to hear about Krishna's esoteric pastimes without properly understanding how Krishna is great. And we had also discussed that famous purport from Bhagavad Gita text 10.7, in which Srila Prabhupada writes that people in general, they say or know that God is great, but it is not sufficient just to know that God is great. It is very important to know how God is great. And Prabhupada writes in the same purport that if we know God is great, how God is great, only then we will be fixed in our conviction to practice Krishna consciousness. And here also Srila Prabhupada is saying, only when one knows Lord Krishna's greatness can one firmly put one's unflinching faith in him. Then only our devotional service will be very steady and firm. Otherwise, our faith will be very, very fragile. The moment any calamities come in our life, the first casualty will be Krishna consciousness. If we don't know about greatness of Lord Krishna, without that, our conviction will be very, very jittery. It will be very, very fragile. It won't be firm. So with this as the background, let's see the next set of inquiries by Maharaj Parikshit. Yes. So it is important to understand how the Lord's external energy works before understanding the workings of his internal energy, the pleasure potency, before understanding the working of the Ananda Shakti, it is very, very important to understand the working of its Chit Shakti. How does he create the material creation? And we see that each and every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why it has philosophy in it. Nowhere, even in we would try specific chapter from Krishna book, where the most esoteric pastime of Uddhava delivering Krishna's message to the gopis is mentioned. And this is nothing but Krishna's love letter to the gopis. But even in that esoteric part of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see first Lord Krishna himself in his letter explains his position in detail so that the common set of devotees who are referring to this part of Srimad Bhagavatam, they don't jump to the conclusion and misunderstand him as one of their own, as an ordinary personality like their own self. So Srimad Bhagavatam, through all these philosophy about Krishna's position and describing all these various pastimes about Lord Krishna's creative potency, it gives us an opportunity at every moment not to take Lord Krishna cheaply as a sahajiya, to understand him properly and then to be able to appreciate his pastimes properly, accurately. So we would open this particular link, which is Krishna book, chapter number 17, which is entitled Uddhava delivering Krishna's message to the gopis. And we would see some specific portions. So here Uddhava just begins to narrate Krishna's love letter to the gopis. Uddhava continued, "These are the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear gopis, my dear friends, please know that the separation between ourselves is impossible at any time, at any place, or under any circumstances because I am all pervading." And then the quote ends here. Srila Prabhupada describes in the two paragraphs about Lord Krishna's all pervasiveness based on various verses from Bhagavad Gita. And then you can go through at your leisure. Then we continue Krishna's message. Uddhava continued reading Krishna's message. "Nothing is separate from me. The whole cosmic manifestation is resting on me and is not separate from me. Before the creation, I was existing." So we see, even when Krishna is conveying his message to the gopis for the benefit of us common people who would be referring to that later on in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is elaborately explaining his position through Shastric philosophy, and he is not directly jumping to any esoteric message for the gopis without properly clarifying his position as the supreme creator, his position as being the all pervasive, that means being present everywhere. And nothing of this cosmic manifestation, Krishna says, is separate from me. So if in this esoteric part of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Uddhava is delivering Lord Krishna's message to the gopis, if the philosophy is given before the message is delivered, then how important it is for everyone to not be bored or not to take these parts of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita as cheaply. Srila Prabhupada explains in various purports, quoting senior acharyas like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and all, that a devotee should be as much eager to hear about these pastimes of Lord Krishna with reference to his creation, etc., as they are to hear about the esoteric pastimes in terms of Krishna's interactions with his very close, intimate devotees. So we should be eager to hear about both, especially about his position as the supreme creator of this universe, creator, proprietor, and enjoyer of this cosmic manifestation before we jump to his esoteric pastimes. Any questions, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, on this particular point? Why it is important to know how Krishna is great before we proceed to his pastimes or interactions with his devotees? Anybody has any question? Hare Krishna.
Just got one comment, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can I add? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
There are two things when this part is described. I remember the chapters 10 and 11 of Bhagavad Gita, wherein he first chapter he describes all his vibhutis. That's the outside
Opulence.
world. Yes. And then the same thing he shows to Arjuna, which is present inside him. So basically, these two messages are described here in a very more simple way. That is what is my uh, understanding, Prabhuji, at this
Thank you.
point.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very good that first we should understand about the Krishna's interaction with his external energy, the Maya Shakti, and which is mainly the part of creation. And before we go into Krishna's dealings through his internal potency or the pleasure potency. So we proceed. Yeah, and this particular sixth verse we have seen last time, we will just quickly touch upon it, where Parikshit Maharaj basically requests Shukadev Goswami to describe Lord Krishna's creative energy. Uh, I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead, by his personal energies, creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. So I have just taken a snapshot of what we discussed as part of very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam through the example of the potter, where we discussed how the ingredients that are there for the potter to make an earthen pot, including the mud, including the water, including the stick and the wheel on which the earthen pot is made, all these are ingredients which are given by the nature or ultimately given by Krishna. But in addition to these ingredients, which are called as the material cause, which is the raw elements with which the earthen pot is made, Krishna also bestows upon the potter the skill with which to make an earthen pot. So similarly, Krishna, even in case of Lord Brahma, while Krishna provides all the raw ingredients, including the gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, as well as the subtle elements, mind, intelligence, ego, etc. All the 24 elements described in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna provides to Brahma, and along with that, Krishna also provides to Brahma the intelligence with which to create this material cosmic manifestation. There is a specific dedicated chapter in Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is entitled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. And that means, despite having all these material raw ingredients for creation of the secondary creation of this cosmic manifestation, Brahma is still dependent on Lord Krishna to have the skill and the knowledge with which to create this cosmic manifestation. So let's recite this text number 7 first. Usha Kamat Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji pranams.
Pranam.
Text 4.7. Yatha gopayati vibhur.
Yatha Gopayati Vibhur.
Yatha samyachate punaha.
Yatha Samyachate Punaha.
Yam yam shaktim upashritya.
Yam Yam Shaktim Upashritya.
Puru shakti parah puman.
Puru Shakti Parapuman.
Atmanam kriyadan kridan.
Atmanam
Kridan
Karoti vikaroti cha.
Karoti.
Vikaroti cha.
Translation.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player.
Yes. So before we go to the purport, in the previous verse, Maharaj Parikshit requested Shukadev Goswami to describe about Lord's creative potencies, creative energy, how he creates this cosmic manifestation. And in this verse, he is requesting Shukadev Goswami to describe the process of maintenance and then concluding the cosmic manifestation, which is called Nirodha, which means annihilation or conclusion of the cosmic manifestation. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadev Goswami to describe this as well. If we see the 10 topics, the 10 principal topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, we will find that both these are part of the 10 principal topics. The process of creation, including the primary and the secondary creation, Sarga and Visarga, and also the topic of Nirodha, which is dissolution or annihilation. So Parikshit Maharaj is specifically asking Shukadev Goswami to describe all these three, the creation, maintenance, and the annihilation or dissolution of this cosmic manifestation in this verse. And here I just need to make a small correction, which is it should be text 7, not 6. Yeah. So we'll go through the purport. Yes, Usha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes. Purport. In the Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, the Supreme Lord is described as the chief eternal being amongst all other eternal individual beings. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. And the one Supreme Lord who maintains innumerable other individual living beings. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhadhati Kaman. So all living entities, both in the conditioned state and in the liberated state, are maintained by the Almighty Supreme Lord. Such maintenance is effected by the Lord through his different expansions of self and three principal energies, namely the internal, external, and marginal energies. The living entities are his marginal energies, and some of them, in the confidence of the Lord, are entrusted with the work of creation, also as are Brahma, Marichi, etc. And the acts of creation are inspired by the Lord unto them. Tene Brahma Hrida. So the one Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in many, Bahushyam, and thus all diversities are in him. And he is in all diversities, although he is nevertheless different from all of them. That is the inconceivable mystic power of the Lord. And as such, everything is simultaneously one with and different from him by his inconceivable potencies. Achintya Bheda Tattva.
Thank you. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
So,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Understanding the last highlighted part of the purport, the Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Bheda means difference and Abheda means non-difference. How to understand that Krishna and his creation is simultaneously one and different. So let's go back to the example that we saw of a potter making an earthen pot. So here we see that the earthen pot is made with earth, it is made with mud. But at the same time, when the pot is made, it is a separate entity from the earth, the surface of the earth on which the pot is resting. Similarly, when Krishna creates this cosmic manifestation through a living entity who is his own creation, that is Lord Brahma. We know Lord Brahma to be the first created living being in this material world. So through Brahma, when Lord Krishna creates this cosmic manifestation, he creates it through the raw elements which are given, which are nothing but his own separated energies, the earth, water, fire, air, ether. And additionally, there are living entities who are superior to earth, water, fire, air, ether, which are called, the living entities are called his marginal energy. So while the cosmic manifestation it is separate from the Lord. At the same time, all these energies ultimately coming from Krishna, it is also one with the Lord. And after the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation, we see from Bhagavad Gita that all the living entities, the five elements, they go back into the original five elements, and then the living entities, they also go into the pradhan, and ultimately they rest in the form of mahat tattva, in the supta, in the dormant state, in the body of Mahavishnu. So before creation there is Mahavishnu, during creation it is Mahavishnu, and then Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Through him, we see that the ingredients are provided to Lord Brahma, and the creation is happens. The cosmic manifestation exists. Although coming from Lord Krishna, it exists separate from Krishna, and after annihilation, it again merges into the body of Lord Krishna in the form of Mahatattva. So the cosmic manifestation is both same as the Lord. Why it is same as the Lord? Because the source of the creation is ultimately Lord Vishnu. Either you take the material elements or you take the uh, souls. And ultimately, after the annihilation, the cosmic manifestation is again entering into the body of the Lord. So it is both, in one sense, same as the Lord as well as different from the Lord. And this concept is very, very important. It is the very basic teaching by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for all the devotees. So we'll take a pause here and ask if there is a question for anybody to understand this Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, simultaneous oneness and difference of Lord's creation from the Lord. Anybody has any query, question, Prabhuji's, Mataji's on this? Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji. Clear, Prabhuji.
Okay. Rest of the devotees? Yes.
And one more point, Prabhuji, here.
Yes.
Again,
Prabhuji.
when we say potter and clay and pot and potter, there is, I think, also I've read several examples where they describe gold
Yes.
ornaments and gold
Prabhupada.
itself.
Yes. Prabhupada uses
Yeah.
this analogy. So he uses
Yeah.
two analogies, actually three. One of gold and the gold mine. That
Yes.
gold taken from gold mine, in quality, it is same as the gold, but in quantity, gold mine is huge and gold
Yes.
taken out is very
Yep.
limited. Other example Prabhupada gives is of sun and the sun rays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Hare
And
Krishna.
one more example I read was about the water and
Ocean water.
ocean
Correct.
water
Correct.
also. These all describe the oneness and
And
also the
difference.
severalness of the same energy of the Lord.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes. So a drop of ocean water, it contains the saltiness of the ocean, but in a very minute quantity. It has a very minute quantity of salt in it. But on the other hand, ocean has unlimited amount of water and salt content. Hare Krishna. Any other question, comment, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, on this important concept of Achintya, Bheda, Abheda Tattva? Simultaneous oneness and difference. All right, we proceed to the next slide. And even the great personalities, as we would see Shukadev Goswami later on, Maharaj Parikshit earlier, and even other great personalities, they clearly admit that it is not possible for anyone to completely understand the activities and thoughts and plans of the Supreme Lord. So here I have quoted a verse from the first canto. This comes from Bhishmadev's teachings to Pandavas, specifically to Maharaj Yudhishthir, when the Pandavas go to meet Bhishmadev on his deathbed. Bhishmadev mentions to Maharaj Yudhishthir, O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord, Sri Krishna, even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So pure devotees, they do know Krishna to an considerable extent by Krishna's mercy upon them. But those who are not in devotional service, those who are not connected to Krishna in devotional service, they are totally bewildered. They can't understand Krishna. Like classic example we see in Srimad Bhagavatam or Mahabharat, that of Duryodhan. Krishna was very well present in front of him. Krishna did show Duryodhan universal form. Krishna did try to give good counsel to Duryodhan, but he was completely baffled and confused because of not being connected to Krishna in devotional service. So he completely misunderstood Krishna as a great mystic only and tried to act in on a material platform. On the other hand, that's why a devotee, he acknowledges the unlimited nature of the Lord and therefore offers a very specific set of prayers. So one prayer I have mentioned here is of Gajendra. Usha Mataji, you want to read just the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
This one, what is on the slide, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Lord's activities, plans are inconceivable even for great philosophers and scholars. Text 7. O King, no one can know the plan of the Lord, Sri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.16. Then a devotee's prayers. My Lord, you are the cause of all causes, but you yourself have no cause. Therefore, you are the wonderful cause of everything. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the shelter of the Vedic knowledge contained in the Shastras like the Pancharatras and Vedanta Sutra, which are your representations and who are the source of the Parampara system. Because it is you who can give us liberation, you are the only shelter for all transcendentalists. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Srimad Bhagavatam 8.3.15 in Gajendra's prayers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we see all these great devotees, either be it Lord Brahma in Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, or Gajendra, who is in deep distress in Canto 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam, they all surrender to the Lord, accepting him, acknowledging his position as only the one who can grant shelter to the surrendered souls. And through this process of surrender and service to the Lord, we see a devotee can understand Krishna to an extent that Krishna grants permission to that devotee. And on the right hand side, I have mentioned a very beautiful quote. Faith is trusting Krishna even when you don't understand his plan. So we cannot be adamant and we cannot be stubborn that Krishna, I must understand your plan or I must understand you fully. We should aspire to understand Krishna to the degree that Krishna is merciful to us to reveal himself. So we put our efforts and we accept how much Krishna is wanting or is merciful to reveal himself before us. We can't force Krishna to reveal himself. And then in the later part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada also, hang on, have I done some mistake here? Yeah, so I think there is a mistake in terms of the number on the slide. It should be text 8 here and not 7. So in the text 8, which we will see shortly, Srila Prabhupada specifically describes about scientists wanting to go to other planets and all on the basis of their scientific advancement without exactly understanding the limitation that has been put by Lord Krishna through the material energy, that we can only reside in a planet or go to a planet where our body is suitable to travel to. For example, Srila Prabhupada explains in the easy journey to other planets, just like, for example, sun is a fiery planet. It's it has such a high temperature that not even the hardest of the metals on the earth can withstand that temperature. So definitely we can go to the sun planet with our present body, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, which can only sustain temperatures of up to around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, not even 100 degrees Celsius. Around 37.5 degrees Celsius is the temperature of our body. And in terms of Fahrenheit, if I remember correctly, it is 107 or 108 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. If it reaches within our body, then we are dead. So if our body is having such limitations, how is it possible for us to go to other parts of Lord's creation, like other planets, etc., because the body is not suitable for that type of atmosphere. So we'll recite that verse first. And this number correction I will do after the session. Prabhuji's, Mataji's, apologies for that. Text 8. So we saw in the text number 6, Parikshit Maharaj inquiring about Lord's process of creation. In text number 7, Parikshit Maharaj inquiring about maintenance and annihilation by the Supreme Lord. And then we go to text 8. Prema Priya Jayashri Mataji. Hare Krishna. You want to recite?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nunam Bhagavato Brahman.
Nunam Bhagavato Brahman.
Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha.
Hare
Adbhuta
Adbhuta
Karmana.
Durvibhavyam Iva Bhati.
Durvibhavyam
Bhavyam
iva bhati.
Ivavati.
Kavivischapi Cheshtitam.
Kavivischapi
Kavischapi
chestita.
Chestitam.
I'll continue, Prabhuji.
Yes, translation.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada, translation. O learned Brahmana, the transcendental activities of the Lord are all wonderful, and they appear inconceivable because even great endeavors by many learned scholars have still proved insufficient for understanding them. I'll continue, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes.
Purport. The acts of the Supreme Lord in the creation of just this one universe appear inconceivably wonderful. And there are innumerable universes, and all of them aggregated together are known as the created material world. And this part of his creation is only a fractional portion of the complete creation. The material world stands as a part only, ekamshena sito jagat. Supposing that the material world is a display of one part of his energy, the remaining three parts consist of the Vaikuntha Jagat, or spiritual world described in the Bhagavadgita as Madhama or Sanatana Dhama, or the eternal world.
Thank you, Mataji. We'll take a pause here.
Yes,
So we see in this earthly planet, there are such vast expanses of the places which a man has still not explored. And this earthly planet, Srimad Bhagavatam describes, is a very, very tiny planet. And to go to the higher planets, even if one travels with the speed of light years, it takes very long. Just to send a satellite around moon itself, we see it has to go through so much long period of time, and only then it can reach the moon planet. And all these planets are tiny, tiny planets in this one Brahmanda. And similar to this, there are innumerable Brahmandas coming out from the pores of Mahavishnu, who is just an expansion of the expansion of Lord Krishna. So let me just quickly show this particular chart. Prabhuji's, Mataji's, are you still able to see me, my video on the screen? No?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, I don't know what type. Oh, sorry. Somehow the camera got switched off. Okay. So let me quickly show that chart. Yes, so this is mentioned in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Krishna's first expansion, Balaramji, is given, and then after Balaramji, the Chaturvyuha expansion, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from this Chaturvyuha expansion, from the Sankarshan, we have Lord Narayan, from whom the second Chaturvyuha expansion comes with the same names: Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from Lord Sankarshan of the second Chaturvyuha expansion, we see the Purush avatars coming, mainly the Mahavishnu, who is also called Karanodaksha Vishnu. From Mahavishnu, innumerable Brahmandas coming. In each Brahmanda, Lord Mahavishnu expanding as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and within the secondary creation facilitated by Lord Brahma, in each and every atom and in each and every living entity, Garbhodaksha Vishnu further expanding as Kshirodaksha Vishnu, as Paramatma. And so if the Purush avatars up to Mahavishnu are so magnanimous, so great, that Brahmandas continuously enter and exit from the pores of his body as he exhales and inhales, and that Mahavishnu is an expansion of the expansion of an expansion of Lord Krishna, then what is the position of the Lord? It is inconceivable. So Parikshit Maharaj is admitting before Shukadev Goswami that the transcendental activities of the Lord, although they are wonderful, they appear inconceivable, because even by the endeavors put forth by the great learned scholars, it is still not sufficient to understand Lord Krishna completely or wholly. And then second part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains about uh, some scientific papers published in Russia, and we won't go through the detail. You can uh, go through it separately. And then Srila Prabhupada explains about this point about going to other planets, like what we discussed a while ago, that if we want to go to moon planet properly, legitimately, then what we need to do? Anyone? Prabhuji's, Mataji's? What is the method to achieve moon planet? What is moon planet? It
You
is it yeah, but it is one of the Swargalokas. It is one of the heavenly planets. So to achieve heavenly planet, one needs to have that type of pious credits. Or if one is a devotee and wanting material enjoyment, then obviously one would land up in Swargaloka. Why? Because the material enjoyment is available manifold times than earthly planet. So either of these two ways one can reach moon planet. But if we decide to go to moon planet forcibly without having necessary qualification, what would happen? Although by mechanical arrangement probably we may able to touch the surface of the moon, what scientists would find there are simply the darkness and the rocks and pebbles and so on and so forth. But scientists won't be able to see the opulence of the moon planet as one of the heavenly planets, as one of the Sargalokas. Similarly, even other planets like Sun and all, if we want to reach there, we have to first have a body which is suitable to sustain that type of atmosphere of extreme heat. Then we can go there. Otherwise, it is not possible to go in the same earthly body. Premapriya Mataji, you can read the last
Yes.
paragraph starting Maharaj Parikshit.
Maharaja Parikshit's statement regarding the workings of the creative energy of the Lord discloses that he knew everything of the process of creation. Why then did he ask Shukadeva Goswami for such information? Maharaja Parikshit, being a great emperor, a descendant of the Pandavas, and a great devotee of the Lord, was quite able to know considerably about the creation of the world. But that much knowledge was not sufficient. He said, therefore, that even greatly learned scholars fail to know about that, even after great effort. The Lord is unlimited, and his activities are also unfathomed. With a limited source of knowledge and with imperfect senses, any living being up to the standard of Brahmaji, the highest perfect living being within the universe, can never imagine knowing about the unlimited. We can know something of the unlimited when it is explained by the unlimited, as has been done by Lord himself in the unique statements of the Bhagavadgita. And it can also be shown to some extent, known to some extent, that from realized souls like Shukadeva Goswami, who learned it from Vasudeva, a disciple of Narada. And thus the perfect knowledge can descend by the chain of disciplic succession only, and not by any form of experimental knowledge, old or modern. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you, Mataji. So what is the method that is mentioned here to understand Krishna, Prabhuji's, Mataji's? First is depending upon the statements, depending on the knowledge that is coming from the right source, that is Lord Krishna himself, namely Bhagavad Gita, etc. That is one valid source to understand Krishna. And second important and valid source is through learn from Guru Parampara. Like Prabhupada gives an example, Shukadev Goswami, we can understand Lord Krishna to an considerable extent when we hear such pure devotees. Why? Because he has received knowledge about Krishna from a perfect source, which is his father, Srila Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva in turn has received knowledge about Lord Krishna from Narada, and Narada from Brahmaji, and ultimately Lord Brahma from Lord Krishna himself. So when we approach Lord Krishna through such parampara system, then we have an opportunity to understand Krishna, and again to an extent to which Lord Krishna permits us, to which Lord Krishna grants us his mercy to know him. Why? Because such great devotees, pure devotees of the Lord like Shukadev Goswami, they understand Lord Krishna to an considerable extent. Lord Brahma understands Lord Krishna to an considerable extent because of Lord Krishna's mercy upon them. In the slide, again, going back to the slide, I have mentioned few verses on this particular part. Yes. So there is a beautiful verse which comes in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, text 46, where it is mentioned, Kala karma gunadhino deho yam pancha bhautikaha katham anyamstu gopayet sarpagrasto yatha param. That a living entity is always under the control of three things. And which are these three things? Kala, karma, and guna. Guna means the three modes of material nature. So because a living entity is bound by these three things, the aspect of Kala Shakti, the time factor. Second is the actions, his resultant reactions for his actions, karma. And third is the three modes of material nature. Then in such bound condition, it is not possible for us to understand Lord Krishna. Just like example is given, just like an animal who is already in the mouth of a serpent, he can't expect to be free from the jaws of the serpent on its own strength. And on the right hand side, I have shown the photo of a picture of a frog which is in the mouth of a serpent. The frog can't expect to be free from the mouth of the serpent by his own strength once it is caught. So similarly, a conditioned soul is also caught by these three different energies of the Lord, in terms of his Kala Shakti, his karma, the cycle of action and reaction, and the three modes of material nature. These three are constantly binding a ordinary living entity. So then the next question comes, what is the qualification of one to understand Krishna? We already saw two specific qualifications in the purport. One is we should refer to the right source, the wordings of Lord Krishna coming in the form of Bhagavad Gita, etc. And second, try and approach the Lord through his disciplic succession, through a pure devotee of the Lord like Shukadev Goswami, and then subsequently the knowledge coming to us through Srila Prabhupada and our own spiritual master. That is the second way. Also, there is a so same thing I mentioned in, we should refer to the scriptures, Lord Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, not once in a while. And second is have a right kind of intent while studying the scriptures, that we don't want to become a scholar of the scriptures. We don't want to become a pandita at the end of our studies of Srimad Bhagavatam. We want to understand Krishna to the best of our faculties and be devoted in loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. And there is also a third verse which is quoted from first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.38. Prema Priya Mataji, you want to recite this verse?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah.
सवेदधातु पदवीं परस्य दुरन्तवीर्यस्य रथाङ्गपाणे यो मायया सन्ततायानु वृत्त्या भजेत तत्पादसरोजगन्धम्.
Yeah. And translation?
Yeah. Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence.
Thank you.
Bhagavatam 1.3.38.
Thank you, Mataji. So in this specific verse, Suta Goswami lists 3 qualifications for a person to understand Krishna after taking to devotional service. What are the 3 qualifications? Line number 3 of this verse. Yo amayaya, that means who is unreserved. Santataya, that means who is rendering continuous devotional service uninterrupted. And anuvritya means rendering devotional service to Krishna in a favorable manner. Only if one is fulfilling all these criteria and qualifications, then one can expect bhajata tat pada saroja gandham, that to that person the full glory of the Lord can be revealed by the mercy of the Lord. And no other person, how much ever elevated he may be in material qualifications, can understand Krishna. Only such humble devotional attitude of a devotee surrendering to Lord Krishna can have Krishna reveal himself to such a devotee. Any questions, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, or any comments on this? Who can understand Krishna? What are the qualifications? Hare Krishna.
One comment, Prabhuji. Even in
yes.
Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, isn't it? Several places he says that. He
Yes.
who understands me are very difficult. And I think I remember the one from at the end of chapter 11, when he says that, this form of mind which you're seeing is very rare. It can never be had from learning the Vedas or dana or tapa. It only through devotion that you get it. So even there we see that exactly the same message repeated.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
The
Very
last verse of chapter 11, Prabhuji.
11:55, I believe. 55,
Yeah.
54. Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. And similarly, the same message is also repeated by Lord Krishna at many places. Like even in 18th chapter, Lord Krishna says,
Yes.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah. That one can understand Krishna as he is only by devotional service, by no other method. And even to Arjuna, Lord Krishna gave a very special vision because of which he could appreciate and view that specific form of the Lord which Arjuna granted him the vision for. So an ordinary person like Duryodhan could never appreciate the position of the Lord even after seeing the Virata Rupa.
And chapter 9, last sloka 34, which was repeated in 1865 also, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta. There also he very clearly shows what is the path one must take.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, very nice. So one must always think of Krishna, offer obeisances to him, become his devotee. And what is the third one? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhya jim mam namaskuru. So all these 4 things one must do. Always think of Krishna, become his devotee, offer obeisances to him, and offer one's worship to him. By this method, one will understand Krishna without fail. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we proceed. So then the question would arise that in the previous verse, we saw Parikshit Maharaj mentioning to Shukadev Goswami that understanding Krishna is very, very difficult. Even the great philosophers and scholars, for them to understand Lord Krishna's activities and plan is not easy. Then the question might arise, then why is Maharaj Parikshit asking Shukadev Goswami to describe Lord Krishna to him? Because even if we consider Shukadev Goswami just as a great scholar, even for him it would be difficult, right? So his specific qualifications, Parikshit Maharaj mentions in text number 10. I'm skipping some of the text. You can read through at your leisure, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. I will just go as per the flow through the important text. So let me request devotees. Sanjukta Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You can recite.
What, Prabhuji, which one? 4.9? 4.10?
10.
4.10. Okay. Vichi.
Sorry, we lost you, Mother. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mother.
Vichikissatam etmane.
Vichikittishitam etanme.
1 second, let me check the right pronunciation for this. Yeah, Vichikitsitam. Yes, Mother.
Vichikissatam etmane.
Vichikitsitam etanme.
Babritu Bhagavan yatha.
Bravitu Bhagavan yatha.
Yatha.
Sade Brahmani nispataha.
Shabde Brahmani Nishnataha.
Nishnata.
Paramsmi
Cha Bhavan Khalu.
Paramsmicha Bhavan Khalu.
Parasmi
means
Bhavan Khalu. Translation.
Kindly clear up all these doubtful inquiries, because you are not only vastly learned in the Vedic literature and self-realized in transcendental, but are also a great devotee of the Lord and are therefore as good as the personalities of Godhead.
Thank you, Mataji. So what is the scope, what is the hope for Shukadev Goswami to be able to describe the Supreme Lord? So his specific qualifications are mentioned by Parikshit Maharaj in this verse, that my dear Shukadev Goswami, although understanding Krishna is difficult for the great scholars and philosophers, but you are still able to explain about Lord Krishna. Why? Because you are a great devotee of the Lord and are therefore as good as the personality of Godhead. So all these great devotees who are completely surrendered through these qualifications we saw in the previous verse. Yo amayaya santataya anuvritya. They are favorably engaged in Lord Krishna's service, uninterrupted, continuously, and unreserved manner. So such a devotee, Shukadev Goswami being such a devotee, it is possible for him to describe Lord Krishna in great detail. So this is the qualification Maharaj Parikshit highlights of Shukadev Goswami. So it's a long purport. We will see only the highlighted part. Sanjukta Mataji, you can read through the highlighted part.
Yes, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He is very difficult to know. He is very difficult to know simply by learning the transcendental science of the Vedas, but he is very easily realized by his pure devotee.
Proceed. As such.
Okay. As such, there is no validity in the material conceptions of the Lord produced by the mental speculator. Thus, he remains always a mystery for the mundane scholars, even if he is vastly learned in the Vedic literature. That is, Vedi Sudulavam, Adulavam Atma Bhakto. Therefore, the Lord is beyond the limit of the conceptions for mundane learned scholars, philosophers, and scientists. He is easily understandable for the pure devotee, because the Lord declares in Bhagavad Gita 1.8.54 that after surpassing the stage of the knowledge. When one is able to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, then only can one know the true nature of the Lord. One cannot have any clear conceptions of the Lord or his holy name from attributes, pastime, etc. unless one is engaged in his transcendental loving service. The statement of the Bhagavad Gita that one must first of all surrender unto the Lord, being freed from all other engagements, means that one must become a pure, unconditional devotee of the Lord. Only then can the know him by the strength of the devotional service.
Thank you. Thank
Maharaja
you.
Parikshit
So we'll
admit.
take a pause here.
Okay.
So we see one example from the life of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that one time a very learned personality, if I'm not wrong, that personality happened to be the Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University, a very, very highly placed official. He came to meet Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he did have few questions to inquire. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, when that person mentioned his desire to ask questions to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, firstly, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur guided that person to go and help in DT kitchen to the devotee who was washing the DT paraphernalia, the pots that are used for offering of the bhoga to the deities and deity worship, etc. And when that person, he obediently followed the instruction of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, went to the DT kitchen, helped, assisted the devotee who was washing the DT paraphernalia, and after everything was done and cleaning was done, speak and span, then this person came back to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, being pleased with his service, asked him, yes, tell me, what is your question? And the person told Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati that my doubts and the queries that I had have already been addressed or clarified. So point is, just by our intellectual exercise arrangement alone, we cannot expect to understand Krishna using our intellectual capability. One very important consideration or prerequisite for understanding Krishna is being engaged in the service of the Lord physically in person. That is very, very important. Then that can attract the mercy or attention of the Lord, and he can reveal to us based on his own mercy, based on his own free will. But we can't force our intellect to understand Krishna based on our material capabilities. Yes, Mataji. Last paragraph, Maharaj Parikshit.
Maharaj Parikshit admitted in the previous verse that the Lord is inconceivable even for the greatest learned scholars. Why then should he again request Sukadev Goswami to clarify his insufficient knowledge about the Lord? The reason is clear. Not only was Sukadev Goswami vastly learned in the Vedic literature, but he was also a great self realized soul and a powerful devotee of the Lord. A powerful devotee of the Lord is by the grace of the Lord more than the Lord himself.
Thank
The
you. Yes.
personality of
Thank you.
Godhead.
Thank you, Madhaj. We'll take a pause here. So in the rest part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains how Lord Krishna is much more happy glorifying his devotee and empowering his devotee to do extraordinary tasks, which apparently Krishna also shows as if he is not able to do by himself. And there are multiple examples. Srila Prabhupada quotes specifically the example of Lord Ramachandra. Prabhupada mentions that for himself to cross over the breach, of course, Lord Ramachandra is the Supreme Lord, just by his will, he could have landed directly in Sri Lanka, but he did arrange for the monkey soldiers to build a breach for him to cross. So he showed as if he needs a medium of the breach to cross over the ocean. But as far as his devotee, Hanumanji, is concerned, Lord Ramachandra empowered Hanumanji to cross over the ocean directly by jumping over it. Similarly, in the story of Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, we see that when Durvasa Muni, with his same body, he went through the material coverings and ultimately landed in Vaikuntha Loka and requested Lord Vishnu's help to be protected from Sudarshan Chakra. Lord Vishnu mentioned his inability to protect Durvasa Muni because he had offended his great devotee Amrish Maharaj. But same Durvasa Muni, Lord Vishnu guided Durvasa Muni to Amrish Maharaj, saying, if at all you want your life to be spared, you have to go to same person, same devotee who you have offended, Amrish Maharaj, and beg pardon. And then Amrish Maharaj, when he requested Sudarshan Chakra, that if I have done any pious activity, any devotional activity in my life, please forgive Durvasa Muni. Immediately Sudarshan Chakra stopped. So through these various examples, I have quoted few more examples in the slide. Like another example I have quoted is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he spread Harinam through various parts of India through Harinam Sankirtan, either in Bengal, Orissa, which is Gaudadesh, or even in South India through South India tour. But as far as spreading the holy name through every nook and corner of the world is concerned, he left the glory to his commander-in-chief, devotee, Srila Prabhupada. Similarly, we also see one conversation between a great learned Brahmana, Pradyumna Mishra, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Pradyumna Mishra came to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and mentioned to Mahaprabhu that I would like to hear about Krishna from your lips, what did Mahaprabhu say? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that I do not know anything about Krishna, but Ramananda Rai knows. Go to him and hear about Krishna. Take my name and perhaps he will talk with you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying his own devotee Ramananda Rai and telling Pradyumna Mishra that I don't know about Krishna much, but my devotee Ramananda Rai, he is very greatly learned and he knows science of Krishna. So you can go to him, mention my name and inquire from him. And Ramananda Rai should be able to explain to you the science of Krishna very, very nicely. So we see through all these examples, Krishna putting himself at a subordinate position to his devotee at a greater position than himself, and deriving great joy out of it. And at the same time, empowering his devotee to render a feat which is much, much higher than what Lord himself is showing as he is able to do. Of course, that is just Lord's pleasure. It is not that anything is impossible for the Lord, but he wants to show his devotee at even a greater height than himself through all these examples. Any questions, queries, Prabhuji's, Mataji's? Are these examples clear of various devotees mentioned here? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
Yes. But
And
there are several more, isn't it?
several more,
Innumerable.
yes, Prabhuji,
Innumerable.
innumerable examples. Even in the famous Gopi Geet, let us open that verse. The gopis, they also praise Krishna, and in that particular prayer of the Gopi Geet, they say, my dear Krishna, you are definitely great, but greater than you are your devotees. So let me open that verse. So this comes in Gopi Geet in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, text 31, chapter 31, text number 9. So please try to recite. This is a very, very famous prayer of gopis. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashafalam Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. So they glorify Lord Krishna by saying, oh my dear Lord Krishna, the nectar of your activities and pastimes, it is like Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. It offers solace from the burning lives of the conditioned souls. Tapta jivanam. Kavibiriditam kalma. And it drives away all the sinful reactions. And to hear about your pastimes is very, very auspicious. But Bhuvi Grinanti ye Bhuri Dajana, those persons, my dear Krishna, who are engaged in spreading these pastimes of yours throughout the world, they are Bhuri Dajana, they are much more magnanimous than even yourself, my dear Krishna. So gopis are glorifying the position of the pure devotees who are engaged in spreading the glories of the Lord, mentioning that such pure devotees, their glories are even beyond the glories of the Lord. Why? Because they are spreading these glories of these activities and pastimes of Lord Krishna all over. Because of which, ordinary people whose lives are like burning with conditioned life, they are also able to gain solace. So coming back to this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada also mentions that how Krishna likes his devotees to be glorified, his pure devotees to be glorified even more than himself. And what is the conclusion? So conclusion is that while we cannot understand Krishna by our material scholarship and intellect, if we approach Krishna through the mercy of his pure devotees in the coming in the Guru Shishya Parampara, then we have a good chance of understanding Krishna. Prabhupada mentions a bona fide spiritual master like Shukadev Goswami. He does not speak about the Lord only in the matter of his internal potencies, but also explains how he associates with his external potencies. So such pure devotees know how to give Krishna such that the person should, his heart should be cleansed, and then he is able to advance in his Krishna consciousness. So he knows how to give Krishna. Like we saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu admitting to Pradyumna Mishra that I don't know Krishna, but my devotee Ramananda Rai knows. So better go and inquire from him and you will get your answers. Are we good till now, Prabhuji's, Mataji's? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, fine. So now, till now, we saw that we saw disposition of Maharaj Parikshit in the first 4 verses, and then we saw the eagerness of Maharaj Parikshit to hear from Shukadev Goswami, where he admits that understanding Krishna is extremely difficult, but you should be able to reveal Krishna to me because you are surrendered and you are yourself a great realized devotee of the Lord. And then Shukadev Goswami is able to speak, is basically answering Maharaj Parikshit. We will go through text 11. This is an important text. And then Shukadev Goswami's response will start. Text 11. Who is the next devotee who would be reciting? Murli Prabhu, you want to recite?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah. Sutavacha
Sutavacha.
Uvacha
iti upammantrito rajan
iti
Iti
upamantrito
upamantrito
rajna.
Nagnya, sorry.
No.
Gunan anukat gunan anukatena hare
Guna
Gunanukatane
Hare
Harehe
hrishikesham anusmritya
Rishikesham Anusmritya
prativaktam prachakrame.
Prativaktum
Prativaktum
Prachakrame.
Translation.
Suta Goswami said, when Suta Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of Godhead, he then systematically remembered the master of senses, and to reply properly, he spoke thus.
Yes. So before we go to the purport, Suta Goswami is glorifying the contemplation, the meditation of Shukadev Goswami upon Lord Krishna and requesting Lord Krishna for empowerment to speak the right words that Srila Prabhupada will explain in the purport. Before Shukadev Goswami begins to answer the secondary set of inquiries made by Maharaj Parikshit. Purport? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. The devotees of the Lord, while delivering speeches and describing the transcendental attributes of the Lord, do not think that they can do anything independently. They think that they can speak only what they are induced to speak by the Supreme Lord, the Master of Senses. Shall I continue, or
Yes,
you
yes,
want to
Prabhuji.
describe?
Complete
Yeah,
purport, yeah.
complete purpose. Okay. The senses of individual beings are not his own. The devotee knows that such senses belong to the Supreme Lord and that they can properly use when they are employed for the service of the Lord. The senses are instruments and elements are ingredients, all endowed by the Lord. Therefore, whatever an individual can do, speak, see, etc., is under the direction of the Lord only. No one is free to act freely and independently, and as such, one should always seek the permission of the Lord to act or eat or speak, and by the blessing of the Lord, everything done by the devotee is beyond the principles of the four defects of the conditioned soul.
Thank you. Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. So here, Srila Prabhupada gives a brilliant purport by saying how a devotee who is about to speak on the Lord, he needs to really have the mercy of the Lord and pray for the mercy of the Lord to be able to speak the right words. And if such a devotee is completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord to glorify the Lord, then whatever will come out of the mouth of such a surrendered soul, the four defects of a conditioned living being, namely imperfect senses, tendency to be illusion, cheating propensity, and what is the one remaining? Cheating propensity and tendency to commit mistakes. So all these four defects of the conditioned living beings, they won't restrict or impact the ability of this devotee to speak, provided he is completely dependent upon the Lord. So just like we were seeing the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai in the earlier slide, in the same conversation, Ramananda Rai, we see that he is being asked so many questions about Lord Krishna by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this conversation took place on the banks of the Godavari river near Rajamundry, the present day Rajamundry district in Andhra Pradesh. There, during Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's South India tour, this conversation took place. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked so many questions about Lord Krishna to Ramananda Rai, and Ramananda Rai mentions to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my dear Mahaprabhu, you are nothing but Krishna himself. So it is you only who are asking the questions, and it is you only who are empowering me to be able to answer these questions based on the scriptural injunctions. So it is just like a puppeteer. He is able to move the strings and manage the puppets to move in a particular way and form. Similarly, it is you only who are making me act and speak as per your desire to apparently answer your questions. But it is not possible based on my own intellect. It is you who are inspiring me to speak what is the right answer to your questions. So similarly, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that one should depend on Krishna to act, to eat, and to speak in a particular proper manner, which will be serving Krishna favorably. One should completely seek Krishna's permission and blessings to be able to speak right words. And Shukadev Goswami, in this particular verse, we see Suta Goswami glorifying Shukadev Goswami, that he also remembered the Lord of the senses. Rushi Kesham Anusmritya. Anusmritya means properly remembered the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, Rushikesha, Prativaktum Prachakrame, to properly respond to Parikshit Maharaja's inquiries. So then in the next verse onwards, Shukadev Goswami's response begins to Maharaj Parikshit. So I think we would conclude slightly earlier, and so that we have the response by Shukadev Goswami as one coherent piece of discussion next time around. So for the verses that we have covered till text 11, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, are there any questions, comments? Hare Krishna. So I had prepared slides for 2 more verses, but we will have a response of Shukadev Goswami in one lot discussed next time.
One request, Prabhuji. Now
Yes.
that you are here,
Yes, Prabhuji.
will it be possible to give a brief description of your Yatra, Prabhu? Now that you have concluded it, it was
Sure thing.
mesmerizing.
Sure,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. So let me stop the recording first. Prem Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna. You can stop the recording. Hare Krishna, Prem Priya Mataji. All right. So Kartik Yatra, as the name suggests, it happens in the most auspicious month of Kartik. And who does this month belong to? Prabhuji's, Mataji's, anyone? Who does Kartik month belong to?
Radharani.
Srimati Radharani, yes. So Lord Krishna's own month is next month, which is Margashish, and Radharani's month is Kartik. And as we just saw the principle that Krishna wants to give more glorification and prominence to his devotee than himself. So Kartik month is even more glorious than Radharani. So we started the trip from Mumbai. We traveled to Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna, and we had one day at Mathura before moving to Govardhan, where the Yatra registration was to be. So we utilized that one day to go to Gokul. So Krishna, after he was born, where did Lord Krishna take his birth? Prabhuji's, Mataji's, where did his birth happen?
Mathura in the
Delhi.
prison.
Prison house. Yeah, in the prison house of
Karagar.
King Kamsa. So we went
Yes.
to the place where the birthplace of Lord Krishna, in the prison house, prison cell of King Kamsa. And from Mathura, Lord Krishna was moved to which place? To Gokul.
Gokul.
Gokul Mahavan. So Vasudev, Lord Krishna inspired Vasudev to move the baby child Krishna from Mathura to Gokul, where Nanda Maharaj was staying. So we visited Gokul and Nandagaon. It is the same place. And we visited Yashoda Nanda Bhavan. So the very house in which Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mai used to reside, and where many beautiful pastimes took place, including the pastime where Lord Krishna ate the dirt, and the Gopas complained to Yashoda Mai that Krishna ate the dirt, and she scolded Krishna, asking him to open his mouth, and where he showed entire Brahmanda in his tiny mouth. His mouth did not increase in size, but still Mother Yashoda could view the entire Brahmanda, including herself, viewing the mouth of Lord Krishna in that Lord Krishna's mouth. So she saw herself as well in that Brahmanda through zoom in. So we saw that place, and there they have a beautiful jhula. What is jhula called in English? Anyone? Cradle. So there they have the beautiful cradle which we can pull to give pleasure to the baby Krishna. And there, since it was a time when Annakut was being sponsored for the pleasure of Lord Krishna, we also had opportunity to offer the Annakut Bhoga for the pleasure of the Lord and receive prasad in return. And then we also saw various places while coming back from Gokul Mahavan, including Vishrama Ghat, where two pastimes happened. Lord Krishna personally rested at Vishram Ghat after slaying Kamsa, and there was one more pastime. I have noted it down. I will check and I will mention. But this is the place where Krishna rested after killing Kamsa. So it is called Vishrama Ghat. And So after that, we went to Govardhan the same evening, and at Govardhan, on the day of Govardhan Puja, we, a- apart from hearing the Govardhan Puja Katha, we also did the circumambulation. And this was the first time. Previously, also, we have done circumambulation of Govardhan, but this was the first time we did circumambulation with children. So we went at a bit slow pace so that children don't get too exhausted. Prema Priya Mataji, you have already stopped recording. Hare Krishna. Please
No,
confirm.
I've not stopped, Prabhuji.
Please stop recording. Yeah. And confirm. Hare Krishna. So we went for Govardhan Parikrama and we broke it in two parts. So those of you who have visited Govardhan, you would know there is a Badi Parikrama and a Choti Parikrama. So Badi Parikrama is on, if we consider Govardhan as a oval shaped or in the shape of infinity. Infinity, let me just show on the screen. How does all of you know the sign for infinity, Prabhuji's, Mataji's?
Yes,
Infinity.
at least
Yeah.
I know the horizontal 8.
Oops, sorry. I opened something else. Yes.
Horizontal 8, isn't it?
Correct.
That's
Horizontal
what-
8. So the middle point of infinity, see, this is how the infinity look like. So this particular portion is exactly not a single point, but it is like a small portion of Govardhan, which is in between, which is called Dana Ghati. So the left hand side of the parikrama is done like this. So starting here till the middle point, this is called Badi Parikrama. And then from here till the starting point, this is called Choti Parikrama. So first day we did the left hand side, which includes many wonderful places like the village called Anayor. So Anayor, it is the place where when Brajavasis offered all the bhoga offerings to Govardhan for his pleasure, he accepted everything. He ate every single morsel of food that was offered by the Brajavasis. And then he said, Anayor. Anayor means give me more. I want more. And then Brajavasis offered everything, every single grain that was there in their house, made a bhoga offering of it and offered everything to Lord Krishna. And there is also a place called uh, Govinda Kund. So Govinda Kund is the place where Lord Indra surrendered to Lord Krishna after the Govardhan pastime happened, and Indra was completely embarrassed what he did. In order to like he was totally confused, not understanding Krishna, the small boy, as the supreme personality of Godhead, and tried to destroy the entire Vraja by torrential rains, the devastating rains um, through the witch clouds, Samvartaka cloud, which are meant to be showering rains at the time of annihilation. So Indra deployed those Samvartaka cloud in order to destroy the Vrajavasis. When he finally came to his senses, he was completely basically remorseful. He brought Surbhi cow, which is very, very dear to Krishna, and offered many wonderful prayers. And then through Airavat, through his own elephant Airavat, Lord Indra offered a very beautiful Abhishek ceremony to Lord Krishna. And the Kund that is formed as a result, the small reservoir of water, it is called Govinda Kund. So we did take 3 drops of Govinda Kund on our head, and also we drank 3 drops of Govinda Kund water. We proceeded, Anayor I covered. Then here around, there is a beautiful temple of a very special Gopa of Lord Krishna, Gopa devotee of Lord Krishna. His name is Lota Baba, and the name of that place is Punchari. Punchari in Hindi, it means the tail. So Govardhan, it is described by the Acharyas, is of the shape of a peacock, and the eyes of the peacock are here, which are like which are Shamakund and Radhakund at this particular location in the Govardhan Parikrama. And around here is the mouth of Govardhan, the Mukhara Vinda. And the Puchri, the tail of the Govardhan, is mentioned as over here. So there is a beautiful temple of a devotee called Lota Baba. So Lota Baba, he was one of the Sakha in Krishna Lila, and he went to fetch something. Meanwhile, Krishna took the entire population of the Vraja back home, back to Godhead. And when he came back, all the residents of Vraja, along with Lord Krishna, had already returned back home, back to Godhead. So it is mentioned that Lota Baba is still waiting for Lord Krishna's return, and his example is glorified. Of Puncharika Lota Baba's example is glorified as having sufficient patience in our devotional service, not being tired in our endeavor to know Krishna, to achieve Krishna. If Puncharika Lota Baba is waiting for Krishna for such a long period of time and still is patiently waiting, we should also be patient in waiting for the fruits of our endeavor and not be impatient. Then after Puncharika Lota Baba, we also went to a place called Jatipura. So this was the place where the pandal was set up for the katha, evening katha every day. And there were total of, can you guess, Prabhuji's Mataji's, how many devotees had registered for the yatra? Any guess?
Going into thousands, probably close
12,000. 12,000 devotees. So obviously it needed a big pandal for devotees to hear katha every evening. So in Jatipura, this place is called Jatipura. These are all villages, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. Overall, Govardhan circumambulation is about 21 kilometers. So whichever names I am mentioning, including Puncharika, Lota Baba, Anayor, these are all small villages on the periphery of Govardhan. So we visited Jatipura on the Parikrama Marga, and just after Jatipura on the Govardhan Parikrama route is a village called as Bachcha Gaon. So Bachcha Gaon is a Gaon where after the pastime of Aghasur, Krishna killing Aghasur took place. But Brahmaji, he wanted to test whether this small boy who killed Aghasur, because he observed that small boy eating food from the mouth of the Gopas, Brahma got bewildered and he wanted to test Krishna. Is he really the Supreme Personality of Godhead, same Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or is he a different boy? So Lord Brahma, in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he stole all the calves and the coward boyfriends of Lord Krishna, and this pastime happened at this Bachagao place. And sorry, not this pastime. So what happened is, after how long did the Brajavasis realize Prabhuji's Mataji's after Brahma Vimohan Leela? How long was the period till when Krishna expanded himself as the calves and the coward friends?
100
Anyone?
years.
1 year.
100
1 year,
years.
isn't it?
1 year.
1 second of
1 year of
Brahma's
one
life.
life.
Yeah, one moment of Brahma, which was equivalent to about an year on the earthly planet. So till 1 year, Krishna himself expanded as the coward friends. He himself expanded as the calves. So what happened on that day when the pastime of Aghasur killing and Brahma Vimohan Leela happened, Balramji was absent. And why he was absent? Anyone? What was the reason? Was why Balramji was not present?
Was it because Balramji was with Vasudev Prabhuji? Because he is the son of
He-
Vasudev.
Yeah, so obviously Krishna is also son of Vasudev.
No, but Vasudev from
Sorry,
his.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Brahmaji
I
was
mean,
not present because
yeah,
it was, sorry, Balaramji, not Brahmaji.
but
Balaramji
yeah.
was not present because it was his birthday, and Rohini Mata had held back Balaram at home to facilitate certain rituals and celebration, etc. So Krishna alone had gone with the Gopas that day for herding the calves. And he killed Aghasur. After that, Brahma Vimohan Leela happened. Brahma stole the calves. And while Krishna was searching for the calves, Brahma stole the coward boys, also coward boyfriends of Krishna. So Krishna immediately understood what had happened, and he himself expanded as the coward boyfriends and calves. So for 1 full year, daily, the coward friends who were returning from herding the calves, and the calves who were returning home, they were all Krishna's expansions, Krishna's expanded forms. So what happened after this 1 year anniversary of Brahma Vimohan Leela? Balaramji observed a very unusual sight. He saw that the calves had grown up now in 1 year. They were no more needing their mother's milk. But still, when the calves were grazing at the foothills of at the foot of Govardhan, Balaramji observed that the cows which were grazing on the top of the Govardhan, when they saw the calves, their affection for the calves, it grew manifold times, and they came rushing towards the calves and started feeding them milk out of their udders. And Balaramji thought, wait a minute, these calves have grown up now, they don't need mother's milk. Plus, after these calves having been grown up, the mother cows have had subsequent set of younger calves. So rather than being affectionate towards the younger calves, how come the cows were more affectionate towards the grown up calves and were giving them milk? That was one observation by Balaramji. Second observation was the elderly gopas which were tending the cows on the Govardhan hill, when they saw the gopa, the sakhas, the cowherd friends of Krishna, their affection towards their sons, it grew manifold times, and they immediately rushed downwards and started caressing and kissing their own children, sons, and seeing their extraordinary affection towards their son. That was the second observation by Balaramji. So now one question, why did the cows and the gopas, their affection grew extraordinarily for
The
their
manifestations of Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right. So because those children and those calves were expanded forms of Krishna, so the cows naturally became very affectionate towards their calves, and the gopas naturally became very affectionate towards their children. And when Balaramji saw this, he thought something unusual, and he inquired from Krishna, tell me what is the point? There is something unusual here. And then Krishna revealed to Balaramji that for 1 full year, I have been expanding as the calves and the cowherd friends, because Brahma has stolen the cowherd friends and the calves. And this particular pastime of cows rushing towards the calves and the gopas rushing towards their children, it happened in this place called Bachagaon, which is here on the periphery of Govardhan Hill. Then we came here, and here at the joint of these two halves of Govardhan is a place called Dana Ghati. So as the name suggests, this is the place where Krishna performed his taxation pastimes. He used to levy or charge tax upon the gopis lovingly in order to have that pastime, for them to be allowed to sell their milk products, including yogurt, butter, buttermilk, so on and so forth. Krishna and the Gopas used to stop them at that particular place to charge them the tax. If they want to go further and sell their milk products, they have to give tax to Lord Krishna. So that particular pastime used to happen at Dana Ghati, which is at the joint of these two halves. Then we began our parikrama further. Around here, there is a kund called as Uddhav Kund, which is a place where Uddhava, in his ecstasy of visiting Vrindavan, he manifested this kund at this particular place. We proceed further, and here we come to Shama Kund and Radha Kund, which are just adjacent to each other. So there is no gap, although here in the drawing I have shown some gap. In actuality, Shama Kund and Radha Kund are exactly adjacent. And you might remember from Bhakti Shastri course, Nectar of Instruction, last verse, Jiva Goswami describes that Brajabhumi, it is the center of the entire earthly planet. And in this Brajabhumi, there are 12 forests. And amongst these 12 forests, Vrindavan is very special because it is most dear to Krishna. And within within Vrindavan, the most important place is Govardhan. And within Govardhan, the most important place, the center of this entire material world, is Radha Kunda. So this Radha Kunda is located here, just beside Shamakunda. And my daughter asked me a very important question. She said, Baba, why is there so much rush of devotees to take bath at Radha Kunda, but not too many devotees taking bath in Shamakunda? And I drove the same point. I said that just proves that Srimati Radharani is much, much more famous in Brajabhumi than even Lord Krishna himself. So Radha Kund is the liquid form of Srimati Radharani, and we had a bath there. And Prabhupada also warned his devotees not to be frivolous. Understand that Radha Kund is the liquid form of Lord Krishna, so we should be very, very respectful in taking a bath there and not play water sports and all. Be very frivolous. We should not be frivolous there. We should be very contemplative and in a prayerful mood. And then after taking darshan of Shamakund, Radha Kund, then the parikrama proceeded. Here there is something called Kusuma Sarovar. So Kusuma Sarovar is the place so many pastime happened. When Lord Shiva wanted to participate in the Rasa Leela, then Gopi said that, look, in your current form, you can't participate. No males can participate apart from Lord Krishna. So they had Lord Shiva take his bath in Kusuma Sarovar, and he got a Gopi form, participated in the Rasa Leela. Then Narada Muni, he also had a desire to participate. So Gopis had Narada Muni also take his bath in Kusuma Sarovar. He became Naradiya Gopi, got a female form, then participated in Rasa Leela. So it's a very, very important place, Kusuma Sarovar. And near Kusuma Sarovar only, we see Uddhava even being there even now in the form of Gulmalata creepers on the land. So Uddhava, all of you might remember, he prayed, seeing the devotion of the Vrajavasis and the Gopis towards Lord Krishna. He felt that I want to become a creeper on the holy land of Vrindavan, so that Gopis may touch upon my head with their lotus feet, and I would get the dust of their lotus feet. So near Kusum Sarovar, we see the Gulmalata creeper where Uddhava is taking that form. And then we proceed. Here there is a Manasi Ganga, and just next to Manasi Ganga is only the Mukhara Vind. So Manasi Ganga is the place Krishna typically never wanted or liked Nanda Maharaj to go to any place outside Vraja for any purpose. So one time Nanda Maharaj wanted to visit all the holy places, and Krishna said, you don't worry, Nanda Baba, we would call the Ganges and all the holy places in Vrindavan. So Manasi Ganga, as the name suggests, is the place where Ganges and all the holy waters of different holy rivers, they have manifested. And even now there is a flowing water at this place, Manasi Ganga, fresh water of Ganges. And just next to Manasi Ganga is the Mukharavind, the mouth of Govardhan. And just next to Manasi Ganga is also the famous Chakaleshwar Mahadev temple of Lord Shiva. You remember Prabhuji's Mataji's photo that I had shared? Chakaleshwar Mahadev? Yeah?
Yes.
So this is the place just next to Chakaleshwar Mahadev is the Bhajan Kutir of Sanatan Goswami, where Sanatan Goswami used to reside. And Sanatan Goswami, every day he did parikrama of Govardhan, but his parikrama was not like we do. What we do is about 21 kilometer. And Sanatan Goswami, he did a bigger parikrama of Govardhan, covering the nearby villages and all. And his parikrama is close to almost 35 kilometers. So he did a bigger parikrama of Govardhan every single day. So along with this parikrama, Sanatan Goswami, he also used to write several Vaishnava literatures as part of fulfillment of his service towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had asked all his Goswami students to write Vaishnava literature. So specifically Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they wrote very important Vaishnava literatures for all of us. So he was about to leave that place because of disturbance by mosquitoes, and Lord Shiva, not wanting to lose his association, he summoned the Devata of insects and asked him no more mosquitoes today onwards at this place. And then Sanatan Goswami continued his stay. So we saw that.
Excuse me.
Yes, Mata.
I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Now, you said Rupa Goswami wrote Vaishnava literature.
Yes.
How is Prabhuji? I mean, from where? I mean, how
See,
could they get the information and all that?
very nice question, very important. This is answered in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally instructed Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami in the science of Krishna consciousness. So with Sanatan Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 2 full months in Varanasi instructing him on the various aspects of Krishna consciousness. And to Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent full 10 days, 2 weeks with Rupa Goswami at Dashashwamedh Ghat in Prayagraj. So
yes, that one I remember. That one I remember, Prabhuji.
yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
from the
Okay, so 10 days for Rupa Goswami, 2 months for Sanatan Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally taught them. Is that all right, Prema
Yes,
Priya?
Prabhuji. But Prabhuji, this Dashashwamedh Ghat is in Kashi, no?
It's in 2 places. So I also
two
had that question. It is in Varanasi as well as in Prayagraj also it
Okay,
is.
acha,
Okay. Hare
acha,
Krishna.
yeah. Thank you.
the one which you are referring, Mataji, is about the Hari. The Shishma Sugat is that one which is the
80
king.
ghats of
The
80 ghat,
king.
no? There are 80 ghats. 80 ghats are there, no, Prabhuji?
It is no, but this ghat is very popular because of the king
Kri-
who lost everything in his life. I'm not able to remember his name. He lost everything in his wife, including his wife, family, and everything. And his son comes in there for that's the ghat, if I remember is correctly, is that one.
Thank
But
you.
son's body is brought in, and then he refuses to let it.
Harishchandra.
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 Harishchandra. Ha.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. And from Manasi Ganga, we further proceeded. We concluded our parikrama here, where we had started originally. And our hotel was located just here, 5-10 minutes walk from Dana Ghati. And here is Govardhan bus stand. And apart from this parikrama, we also visited a place called Petha. So direction wise, I don't exactly remember it was here or here. So apologies for that. But this Petha, we went to all these places through buses. So Petha is the place from where Krishna entered an underground cavern. Cavern is like an underground cave which has path to Govardhan. Uh, and Krishna went underneath Govardhan and then lifted Govardhan on his hand during the Govardhan Leela. So along with Krishna, all the Brajavasis, they also entered along with Krishna the cavern and traveled to Govardhan on foot when Krishna started incessant shower of the rain. So this is
Indra started.
sorry,
Indra
not
started.
sorry, Indra. And so this is called Petha. Here there is also a trunk of a Kadamba tree. So the Gopas, when Krishna announced them that I would lift Govardhan, the Gopas, they were playful with Krishna. They said, oh, daily we defeat you in wrestling and all, and you are saying you can lift Govardhan? Prove us. So Krishna said, okay, how I should prove? They said, if you are able to twist a tree is very, very powerful. If you are able to twist a trunk of a tree, we would agree that you can lift Govardhan. So Krishna, just to prove his strength to the Gopas, he twisted the trunk of a Kadamba tree, and that trunk is still there. The tree is not alive, but the trunk is still preserved, which is also twisted. So that is also the meaning of Petha, the twisted one. So not Petha, this is called Aitha, Aitha. So twisted Kadamba tree is called Aitha, and the place is called Petha because of Krishna's entry in the cavern. We also, which is manifested by by Devata Chandra being ecstatic in seeing one of his descendant, Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna advented in the Moon dynasty, Chandra Vamsha.
Yes.
So Chandra manifested this Chandra Sarovar in his ecstasy, seeing Rasa Leela. And around this Chandra Sarovar are the verses inscribed, verses that are composed by Shuradas. And Shuradas Samadhi is Samadhi is there near Chandra Sarovar. That place also we visited. We visited a place called Barsana. Again, the direction I am not too sure whether it is south, north, east, west. Barsana, which is the place of Srimati Radharani, where, so similar to Krishna, Krishna was taken from Mathura to Gokul. From Gokul, Nanda Maharaj moved to Chatikara, and from Chatikara, he further moved to Vrindavan, uh, at Ramanareti, where Krishna and Balaram had so many pastimes. So, like that, in his 10 years and 8 months of time in Vraja, Krishna was moved to several places because of demons attacking and all. So similarly, Srimati Radharani, she was born in a place called Raval, and from there, Vrashabhanu Maharaj, father of Srimati Radharani, he moved to Barsana. So Barsana is most famous as the place of Srimati Radharani, and there is a very, very famous temple of Srimati Radharani called Mana Mandir, which is, the deities are Srimati Ladli Lal. So Ladli is a beloved daughter, which is Radharani, and Ladli Lal is that personality who is very dear to Srimati Radharani, that is Lord Krishna. So Mana Mandir we went. We need to climb a hill to go to the temple and have beautiful darshan of Sri Radha Krishna. So this was the brief of
Amazing.
Govardhan
Amazing,
Yatra.
Prabhuji. Amazing.
Hare Krishna.
Mesmerizing. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And to be honest, what I described, I am being very honest. This is just 10% of the overall places of pastimes. We couldn't visit all in the limited time, but whatever we could visit, it was ecstatic. We liked it.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We experienced with the
Krishna Prabhuji.
monkey Leela Prabhuji.
We went round along with you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
No,
Thank
information is so exhaustive, Prabhuji. How could you, I mean, how could you, like Rupa Goswami getting Vaishnava literature, how did you get all this information, Prabhuji?
Through whatever I have heard little bit, Mataji, as part of the class.
Very extensive.
Really very nice Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhuji.
So, thank you all very much.
We
Hope
should have come with you, Prabhuji, which is
See,
impossible.
I'll tell you one thing. This is a very important. I'll tell you one thing, that in Krishna consciousness, there can be no physical limitation to perform devotional service. In Nectar of Devotion, we have the example of that Brahmana from Pratishtanpur. All of you remember, Prabhuji's Mataji's, that example of the Brahmana from
Yeah,
Pratishthan.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, when he had this burning of the finger, isn't it?
right,
Is that?
right, right.
Yes.
So that Brahmana, he had the desire to offer a sweet rice to Lord Krishna, but the problem was he was a poverty-stricken Brahmana, did not have all the ingredients. So what he did, he had heard in a class that we can offer service to Krishna even in our mind. So he, in his meditation, he gathered all the ingredients, cooked a very nice sweet rice for Lord Krishna. And before the offering, he wanted to check that the sweet rice is cooled enough so that it can be offered. And when he put his finger to check, the sweet rice was still very hot and his finger got burnt. And when his finger got burnt, his meditation broke, and when he opened his eyes, his fingertip was already red and burnt. And when Lord Vishnu saw this entire thing sitting in Vaikuntha Loka, he was sitting with Lakshmiji, he started laughing, and Lakshmiji asked, "What happened? Why are you laughing?" He said that, "Look at my devotee, he was offering me this nice sweet right in his meditation, and his finger got burnt. And he said this devotee would come back to me in this very lifetime." So point is, this anticipation of rendering service to Krishna is what matters. It doesn't matter whether we are able to physically go. Somebody who has got that intense anticipation, he might get equal or even more benefit than the person who has visited physically, provided that intensity of anticipation is there. Okay, Prabhuji. So don't feel that because of any ABC limitation we are not able to go. Having that desire to go is a great thing. So cherish that desire. Okay, Prabhuji's Mataji.
Once attained, the desire becomes a dream, Prabhuji.
Yes.
And then,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one more thing. While
Yes.
doing this parikrama Govardhan that time,
Mhm.
can you see many hospitals there?
See, there are hospitals.
Yes, Prabhuji, there are 6 hospitals are there, Prabhuji. Why it is there? Any idea?
See, there are few hospitals which have been opened by devotees for the service of the Brajavasis. For example, Bhakti Vedanta Hospital, which has got a branch in Vrindavan, which has got a branch in Barsana and all. There, Kulai Hospital, they give free cataract treatment to the Vrajavasis, where 9,000 plus Vrajavasis are treated every year with free cataract surgery. So I know only this much. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not seen.
Because why I'm asking you this question, these monkeys were plenty of monkeys are there,
Oh,
no?
they don't trouble you at all.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's troubled me. It just I got bitten by
Oh,
my
Krishna.
monkey. Prabhu, NNT Prabhuji was laughing at me, no? So I went 4 years before I went with him. That time, that immediately after coming out of that that kirtan was going on, we came out. There was a hospital. So I took one injection. For 8 weeks, I had to take injections.
Krishna.
It
That
happened.
was very unfortunate. And see, typically I have known that monkeys are very averse to two things, especially the spectacles.
Yes,
Mine
specs
was
also.
taken,
It
Prabhuji.
took
Yeah,
specs also, no spectacles
My
also.
specs was taken. Yeah.
they take. And second is they do take
If you give one fruity
purse
packet, Prabhuji,
Fruity
it
packet.
will drop your specs.
specs. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That
you
also happened.
if you
Yes,
have
yes.
fruity packet ready with you, yeah. So, but thankfully, and in the Govardhan Parikrama, the photo that I showed, 1 second, yeah. So there is a outside path, footpath to do the parikrama, and there is a path inside, which is just periphery on the periphery of Govardhan. So this path has such fine soil. It is as fine as our atta, chakki atta, or a talcum powder. So we don't feel like taking our foot off that soil. It feels so soothing and cooling to the soles of the feet.
Even Raman Reti is very soft, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Very soft.
Raman Reti, yes. So Raman Reti, because it is the place where Krishna Balaram used to have their pastimes with the Gopas, the wrestling and all. So it is also very soft. And for Govardhan, it is mentioned that the cows and the calves, they traverse the area around Govardhan so much that because of their hooves, all the stones have turned into very fine dust. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all, Prabhujis, Matajis.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Vamcha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you
Dandavas.
very
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Dandavas, Prabhujis, Matajis.